Ryan, congratulations on the new deal. I think it was an easy decision for you to make.
Yeah, definitely. I think the club showed a real desire to get me an extended deal, and I was delighted when they approached and said they wanted to keep me in for longer than what my current contract was. So for me, I'm at a great club. I've got a great changing room, really good players, great coaching staff, and the fans are excellent as well. So I don't see any point in changing any of that, and I'm delighted with the deal.
How do you feel you've progressed as a player since making the move to Rangers?
I think my first season was frustrating. I've mentioned that before. Obviously, the sending offs at the start of the season, then I got my bad knee injury the second half of the season, so missed out on quite a lot of games. But I think this season I just got my head down, worked hard pre-season, tried to get in the manager's thoughts, and I've done that. And recently, I think I've been getting the rewards for that.
And what does it say for your confidence? What does it do for your confidence that the club have given you this deal to 2021?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the club have just shown that they think I've been doing really well, and they think that I deserve to get a longer contract. So for me, it's just keep my head down, keep doing what I'm doing, and just keep that going, basically.
From day one, the manager's been sort of a big fan of yours, and I think it was the Jet game. He said he was jealous of your performance that night. I mean, having somebody of that calibre as a player coming in and being so vocal with his praise for you over the time you've been here, how's that been for you, for yourself?
Yeah, it's great to hear. There's no better way of getting complimented than off Steven Gerrard, and he's been great with me since they've come in. Guys as well, the staff, they've been excellent. So for me, I just want to keep that going and keep my head down and keep working hard.
Is this season been a wee bit frustrating as well? We've had a couple of wee niggles here as well this term. Has that been a frustration as well?
No, I think it's just the way I play. I think I just try and leave everything that I've got on the pitch, and that's the way I play. I just like to get stuck in about it, and sometimes you pick up knocks here and there, and that's part of the game. But for me, I just want to keep my head down, work hard, and there's a lot to play for the rest of the season.
The manager felt you were outstanding the other night. Do you feel that you're starting to hit new levels here that perhaps you haven't reached before?
Yeah, I think the start of the season, every time I've had a run of games, as you've mentioned, I've picked up a wee niggle or a knock and missed a few. So for me, it's just managing my body. Obviously, in the back, having a bad knee injury last season, and I think now that I've started to get a run of games, I'm feeling fit and stronger with every game. So no, I just want to keep that going and try and keep in the best shape and the best form that I can.
You've got one winners medal from your career so far. How close do you think this team is right now to go on and add to that collection you've got?
Yeah, I think that's the aim. There's no doubt. As I've mentioned before, we've got a great changing room, a great group of lads, and when we sat down and spoke at the start of the season, we says we wanted to win silverware together, and we want to be recognised as a successful Rangers team, and a team and a squad that's went and won a bit of silverware. So that hasn't changed. There's still 2 trophies to play for from now to the end of the season, and I'm sure if we stay focused and we stay together, then we've got a good chance.
By the time this next contract comes, do you hope you've got a clutch on them? Is that the sort of long-term view for you in terms of winners medals and things like that?
Yeah, I think I can't look too far ahead. I think my main focus just now is this season. There's 2 trophies to play for, and we want to go and give our all and try and pick them up.
Ryan, did that injury last season give you a different sense of perspective and maybe help you enjoy your football a bit more?
Yeah, I think I sat out obviously for a long period of time. It's tough to take. Everyone knows that. When you're a football player and all you're known to do is coming in, training every day, playing most games, and when that's taken away from you, it's frustrating and it's tough, and you do go through some hard times. But it's just the drive and determination that I had to make sure that when I do get back fit and I do get my chance to show what I can do, then it's over to me to make sure I get in the manager's thoughts, and thankfully I've done that.
Are you enjoying it as much as you've ever enjoyed it now?
Yeah, of course. I'm probably enjoying my football the most I've ever enjoyed. I'm at a great club. We get 50,000 every home game. We get a great backing away from home. I've got a great coaching staff here every day. Working with a great group of players, so there's no reason for me to change that.
You mentioned the red cards that you got at the start of last season. discipline's been an issue this season, but you seem to be one of the few guys that managed to sort of keep your nose clean. Is that a reflection of what happened last year, and did you have to sort of take a view and change how you went about certain things during the games?
No, I think you look back and reflect at the end of every season, and for me, I just felt like I'd let myself down on that side of it, and this season it was to make sure that maybe I approached it differently, and I made sure that when you do get red carded, you're letting your teammates down and you're letting the staff down. So look, I learned a lot from that period, of course I did, and that stood me in good stead for where I am now.
Gary, how pleasing is it to get one of your key players signed up on a longer
No,
term?
we're absolutely delighted, and he's been rewarded for not only what you've seen on the pitch, but the way he conducts himself Monday through Friday in preparing for games. We've got big demands on the players this season, and Ryan's come through the other end brilliantly. Going from European games to domestic games, where tactically it's different. He's adapted really well, and it's just a reward for a level of consistency and somebody who's not only played as recognised as a holding midfield player, but when he's jumped forward and played in a more advanced position, he's added to the team and coped well with getting into forward areas. So it's nice to see a player playing at the top of his game. There's still more in there. We'll keep nudging away and trying to help him back himself even more. And just delighted. But Rangers have got to keep their best players.
How is Scott Arfield?
He's carrying a little niggle. From the game the other night, as you can imagine, the build-up of games and the sort of the number of games is starting to affect. So we've got a couple of little niggles, Scott being one of them, but we're pretty hopeful for the next 3 games that he should be fine. But alongside, Connor's got a couple of little niggles. I think Gareth McAuley is struggling as well. So there was after the Hibs game, there was a couple of players took a few knocks.
You think they'll all be okay though for these next few games?
Well, we're just in recovery, and then we're going to another busy schedule of 3 games prior to the season, the winter break.
Give me a run through the injuries were to Gareth and Nels.
Gareth's got a little knock in his thigh. Scotty's this little knock in his hamstring area, and that's where we're at in the injuries.
We're coming up to the halfway point in the season. How would you assess things so far?
There's been a lot of change, a lot of changes, throughout the club since we arrived here in June. What I would say is that the players that we put together in a squad, which was put together pretty quickly, the players I think they've done brilliantly well. Bearing in mind that we're halfway through the season, but there was a massive European campaign in there as well, 14 games in Europe, and I think the players have coped brilliantly. I've got to say they've gave us absolutely everything. A lot of demands on them, to recover from Thursdays to Sundays during the season, and to a man, everybody's gave us everything.
If someone had said to you at the start of the season, at this point, you would be sitting so close to Celtic at the top of the league, would you have taken?
Well, Celtic's no our concern. Concern is about us. But the fact is that we're in a position in the league where it's very competitive. It's not just only the Old Firm. There's a couple of other sides there that are pushing as well. But I would say, given where we're at, when we get to the end of the month and we're in a similar position, we'll be delighted.
It's St Johnstone on Sunday. What kind of game are you expecting from Tommy Rice?
Well, barring the little blip against Motherwell, St Johnstone are in good form, keeping clean sheets. It never ceases to amaze me, but Tommy Wright does through at St Johnstone. Very rarely he gets money to go and build his squad or add to his squad. It's the same players, and they've done extremely well. So it's a tough opponent. We go up to Perth, and it's going to be difficult. I think it always is when we go through there. So it's game on, and then obviously the Hibs coming back to Ibrox.
One goal from open play in the last 7 games. I mean, creating chances wasn't an issue on Wednesday night, but do you think the boys need to relax a wee bit when they do get it?
Yeah, there might be a modicum of that, of being just a bit more calm in front of the goal, and maybe could be accused of snatching at a couple of chances. But the thing is, we've got to trust what we're doing. I've got a feeling that their goals will come, and we should be getting rewarded for the amount of pressure we're putting on the opponents, not only from set pieces and corners, but in general play as well. I'd have to touch on the game the other night. For where I was sitting watching it, I thought it was as good a performance as we've given, and domestically.
The control and the sort of the way that you handled that game for the majority of it, is that going to be vital this weekend? You're going up against St Johnstone team that are flying at the moment. Is it?
Yeah, it's just getting that mix of intensity and obviously being patient. You know, the word patient, sometimes you associate that with being slower and a slower build-up. But it's not the case. We can be patient and still move the ball quickly, and that's what we need to do. Because we've got an opponent who are confident. You know, they'll be thinking they can get a result against us. But we go there, buoyed with the fact that we played well during the week. We just need a goal.
Are you a better team when you play with tempo and pacing your game?
Yeah, you'd have to say yes. I think when we go aggressively to win the ball and then break from there, you know, we combine quickly and get people forward. I think we're a good side.
Tommy Wright said this week he didn't think Rangers could be considered title challengers until they get a result over Celtic. I mean, is that a view you share?
Obviously, that's a big game, and you know, when that fixture is made at the start of the season, everybody looks to it. You know, but we're not in a state of paranoia of looking to the Celtic game. We've got two games, two big games, as big as the Celtic games coming up. You know, St Johnstone and Hibs. So we'll turn on and look to Celtic once we get past Hibs.
Quiet Christmas for all?
Yeah, it's my birthday. 54 years young. Family are all finished schools today, so they're coming up from south of the border to join us for Christmas. But it's quiet. It's just that's what I've been used to forever.